Hey, what's up, my zealous little zucchini breads? This is Rob from Guy Plays, and today on Dress to Kill, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Excalibur Zato Collection. Now, as always, I've prepped 3 different looks for your inspiration. In addition, we'll be exploring how different armor sets and Syandanas work with the skin, but more specifically, how they work with its unique animation sets that actually shipped along with it. And as always, we're going to go ahead and close things out by swapping a little bit ahead, because I'm just as curious as you guys are to see exactly how these different components work with the existing skins and helmets. So without further ado, let's get dressed. Now, you can pick up the Excalibur Zato skin in the market for 195 plat, and keep in mind this does include the Zato Agile and Noble animation sets. However, I highly suggest that you take a look at the Excalibur Zato Collection for 255, mainly because of the fact that this contains 2 unique items that you cannot purchase individually, which would include the Oku Nakana skin as well as the Zato Sugatra, both of which I think are really beautiful and suit the skin extremely well. So if you are a collector or are just a big fan of Nakanas in general, I highly suggest that you keep this in consideration. And because I'm sure that you guys are curious about this one, we're actually going to go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of Exalted blade action. Now, do keep in mind, I did remove all other weapons from him aside from that pistol, so it's not like he has the Nakana equipped. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, because it is going to be that Nakana as his Exalted blade. Now, the only thing that I will say about this is, of course, I have the Deluxe skin for this, so I'm not sure if it's any different if you guys don't own the Deluxe skin, but do be aware that that's what happens when you have him and he pulls out this sword. So anyone down in the comments below, let me know if you haven't picked up the Nakana skin and he still pulls out the Nakana for you guys too, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be the way it goes. You got to fit things thematically, right? Now, as always, we kick things off with our standard reminders. You're going to be able to find all of the color codes for these looks down in the description box below. So no, I will not be moving my camera today, tomorrow, or any other day. In addition to that, I do play with legacy palettes turned off. So if you guys are wondering why some of your looks don't necessarily match up with mine, that might be the reason. So go into your options and go ahead and toggle that off and see exactly which one works better for you. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump into our first look, which is an iconic rose gold look. But you're saying, Rob, wait, I don't see a rose gold metallic anywhere on it. That's because I use rose gold in a different place. Technically, it's not actually rose gold, so I guess this can't be considered a rose gold look, but it's close. I'm actually using a variation of the rose gold as the creamy part of the skin. Oh, I snuck it in a very strange place, huh? Now, as you can see, the skin is absolutely gorgeous, but it is very complex. There are certain color mappings that kind of like overlay with each other that I definitely know are giving some people out there trouble, and really it just comes down to a whole lot of play. But as for the design itself, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It just harkens to the Monster Hunter lover in me. In fact, we've got like a freaking Kuro skull in there. And when we go ahead and take a look at the different armor sets in the next look, you'll see how that actually plays around with other armor pieces out there. Overall, I do think it's beautiful. I think my biggest gripe about it, though, is the energy color. Now, as you can see, the balls right here are not glowing, and my review on those balls are not glowing. In addition to that, there are supposed to be like these energy lines that kind of like glow from the, what do I want to call it? Like the little checkerboard square patterns on those panels right there. And as you can see, they're not popping. I don't exactly know what it is. I've put brighter colors in there to try to make them like more vivid, and it might just be the lighting of the orbiter that's kind of dulling them down, but I just don't feel like they glow anywhere near as much as they should. And I do know that it kind of plays into the fact that maybe you can dull down the tertiary, because the tertiary's color definitely kind of like overlays on the balls. So if you make it really dark and you put a bright color on top, it does pop more, but that is very restrictive. I wish that the balls were just glowing with energy, regardless of what color was mapped to that. But regardless of that, I think that the skin overall is absolutely beautiful. I love this braid coming down the back. Do you see the little nipple tassel? He got nipple tassels. Did you catch that? It's a beautiful skin. It's just wonderful and gorgeous in so many different and weird ways. And he got like one ass cheek out. How you gonna be mad at that? Moving along to our second look, which actually uses our iconic rose gold. As you can tell, I was trying to live my best Monster Hunter World life. Now, initially I was not planning on going with a green color scheme, but once I stumbled onto this beautiful forest green, it just gave me like camo in the jungle, but also somehow luxurious at the same time. And you know, I like my men rough and ready, but also kind of rich. It's a nice little mix, and I just could not say no, especially because of the fact that it accentuates that little Kuberdon shoulder piece that he's got going on, and I am just loving this vibe. Now, before we move on to like the full armor sets, I actually wanted to go ahead and remind you that there are a couple really unique pieces that are asymmetrical and fit this whole hunter theme really well. The first one is actually from a previous Nightwave, and it is the Proto-Somid shoulder guard. So if you've got this one, I actually think it works really well. Now, if I'm gonna be honest with you, this skin is notorious for a whole lot of clipping, and this actually doesn't clip that bad. As you can see right there, I was thinking that the whole dangly bit down the back was just gonna be too much, but I actually think it's kind of neat and introduces an energy color in a much better way than these little balls do. So for me, I'm like, listen, if you want to make him into an infested killer, I say why not? But you could also make him a Grineer killer. Let's not forget that you have like a little Grineer head that you could toss onto the shoulder from the Provoc shoulder guards. So I was like, listen, whatever you want him to hunt, he could do. He's a mercenary, he's a bounty hunter, he got you. But let's just say you don't necessarily want to walk around with, you know, decapitated heads on your shoulders. There are a lot of options. Not in the chest area, I do have to point that out. You don't really have a lot of options in the chest area, but when it comes to the shoulders and the legs, I do have to say that he's pretty flexible. I'm gonna give you guys a weird one straight out of the gate. I kind of like the Cirrus set on him. I know it's gonna be a little bit weird because it's like the weird floaty bullshits, and like really, who wants these weird floaty bullshits? But I kind of like it, and let me finish it off with the chest piece. Because the chest piece kind of like goes. It's like one of the few chest, it's so small, but it just fits it just right. He's got all of these crazy floppy bits already, but you can't tell me that that doesn't kind of look good in a really weird way. I might mix up the colors a little bit better so that it matches more, but I don't know. I personally don't hate that. Another one that I wanted to point out, it's actually a newer one, which is the Sigma series one. That one looks quite nice as well. This is like I said, one of the few chest pieces that actually works, because as you can see, like, he's got a lot of asymmetry to him. So it's really hard to do things without making them clip really badly. And I actually kind of like that chest piece on him. So a part of me is like, okay, we'll go ahead and run with that. And as you can see, the shoulder pieces on that as well look quite nice. I was actually surprised because when I was playing around with this skin, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a nightmare for like, you know, armor sets. But it actually, like, just a lot of them really work well. So as you can see right here, tell me that that does not kind of look good. I think that that actually looks kind of good. It's nice and understated, but it doesn't super duper intrude with the rest of the busy look, but instead adds little accent pieces that I am all about. Let me remove some of this weirdo-ness, because I know y'all are probably looking at me like, Rob, you're crazy. And you know what? I get it. You don't have to agree. Now I will say that actually, you know what, the series, what's you call this, the Sigma series doesn't look bad on the leg either. I don't feel like it's obtrusive. I put it on the wrong leg completely. I was trying to just do one side so I didn't have to do every single one for you guys. But as you can see, it's not even obtrusive with that. There might be some minor clipping into the leg right there, but it's not the worst that I've seen. So let's go ahead and do a little bit more swapping, because there are some more good things out there, like the Avia set. And it totally fits the whole hunter vibe, because it's kind of like you're out in the woods and it's Avia. But as you can see, absolutely freaking beautiful, right? Not the chest piece though. Not that the chest piece is bad, but it just looks lopsided, specifically on on his chest. It just seems kind of like off, right? It's not the worst thing ever. This is probably not the worst clipping that we've seen, but you'll see some of the other ones just like sink in there and look very, very strange. One of which I would love to point out is our friendly Edo Prime. I'm not necessarily a fan of the Edo Prime one on this, but I do like, you know, the rest of the armor set, because see, look how it just looks so like off kilter. I mean, it's pretty, but it's also very, very off kilter. So me, I don't necessarily love the chest piece for that. The shoulder pieces and the leg pieces, though, absolutely beautiful. In fact, if you want to like run with the whole asymmetrical thing, I'm almost like you might want to pull like a little Avara moment where you're a little lopsided, you know what I mean? But I think it looks kind of good. In fact, like the Galvanic set looks good on it. The Imugi set looks really good. There's so many that look good on it that I kind of don't want to go through the entire list because there are a ton. I love the Saturn 6 on there as well. But the one that I did want to point out, which is like kind of my favorite out of all of them, is the Vitala set. The Vitala set looks quite like he's already bulky, but it just bulks him in a really, really good way. So as you can see right there, those are the shoulder pieces. Let me show you how like the leg pieces get nice and bulky too. Because I was like, nah, this can't work. This can't possibly work. But it looks really good. Even like the chest piece kind of sort of works a little bit. Look at that. It's just a really, really good shape for the skin because the headpiece is so wide that this kind of helps widen his body a little bit more as well. So, like I said, there's a ton of great armor pieces that are going to work with him. This is probably my favorite of the bunch. So be sure to go check that out. And the Vitala works on so many other skins as well. So definitely embrace it because I think it's absolutely fantastic. And rounding out our looks, we do have a little bit of a reference. So for those of you who've been on my channel for quite some time, you'll know that my C slot on my Excalibur Prime has previously been devoted to my Fleshcalibur customization. I'll toss in a clip like towards the end of the video, but it might traumatize you a little bit. I love that one specifically to troll, but I wanted to go ahead and do a little bit of a callback to that in an interesting way, and it's mainly because of the fact that in all of my previous looks, all of the pops of color have been in the secondary or the tertiary, but I wanted to do something with the primary as the focus, and I was like, listen, Fleshcalibur was here, and Fleshcalibur is going to be here too. So we've got this kind of like musculaturely fleshy kind of bloody red as his main body. And then I wanted to toss on a couple neutrals on top of it to kind of like play into it, but not necessarily overshine it. Listen, we're not trying to look like a Skittles pack Taste the Rainbow over here, but I did want to go ahead and toss in a pop of blue as well to kind of accent that bloody, fleshy red. Now, let's talk about Syandanas. When it comes to this specific, how do I say? This specific customization, not customization, but animation, everything looks a little off kilter. And I wanted to customize to this specific customization so that you guys could see what I'm talking about. But as you can see, everything kind of like points to the side. The more stiff your Syandana is, the more it's gonna point in a weird direction. And I'm not necessarily a big fan of that. Now, that's not the fault of the skin in of itself. It's mainly the animation set that goes along with it that makes everything just a little bit crooked. But it's enough to bother me to make me not want to use many of the Syandanas. So I'm gonna say big pass on a whole lot of them. But if you are planning on using a Syandana with the noble animation, I would highly suggest that you guys take a look at some of the more asymmetrical Syandanas because they actually fit this one pretty, well, I can't say pretty well, but because of the fact that asymmetrical Syandanas are kind of weird, then it kind of does not feel as bad. So as you can see, that one is the Superna Syandana, and that one is, I believe, from, what is her name? Bloody Girl. girl that is bloody, Garuda. The only thing that I will say about that is a lot of the Syandanas also have a ton of clipping issues. Mainly because of the fact that literally you have this piece coming through, you have the shoulder piece coming through, and you also have the braid that's coming through. And the braid is absolutely gorgeous, so I kind of don't want to cover that up. But there's also one that is an infested one, so I figured if you're doing the infested back, you could also do, I believe is it the Embolist one? It is a really strange one that is asymmetrical. Oh my god. Oh, I like this one too. I like the Cumulus. Not with this specific color set, but the Cumulus, I kind of don't mind. You're gonna have to like really customize the tone on it to make it look right on there, but I actually think that it fits pretty gosh darn well. Where is this one? The Epoxy Syandana. Because of the fact that it's so weird and like obtuse, it kind of flows really, really well with the skin too. So I would check out those ones, but I will say, I am still proud to say that to this very day, Officium still kind of works. There's clipping issues. There's clipping issues with all the side knots, but Officium, off kilter, but still kind of works. Now, if you're planning on using a different, stance with it, I tend to go for like the Zephyr stance because I feel like it's pretty neutral. You can kind of take a look that it's really just the stance and it's not necessarily the positioning of the Syandana. It's still at the center of his back. You know what I mean? All of these are at the center of this back, but because of the fact that the animation leans to one side and also the fact that the skin is kind of heavier on one side, it makes it look like they have not positioned the Syandana as well. They have positioned the Syandana as well. It's just the skin doesn't necessarily make the best use of them. So those are going to be my tips for trying to make a Syandana look good and my recommendations for what do look good in his weird off-kilter set. And for everybody who's asking about the Agile sets, because I know it's going to happen, y'all are used to your Syandanas looking crazy. Because you always kind of look like you're pooping in this animation. So I'm not even going to try to like dedicate that part of it. The video's long enough as it is. Just, it's all different kinds of pooping positions, okay? And finally we arrive at the moment that we have all been waiting for. We get to see just how weird this shit looks on different body skins as well as head skins. We're going to do a little bit of a scramble. So let's go ahead and try on different helmets. And I've got a fucking butt ton of them. Now, of course, I am using this on Excalibur Prime. You can use this on Umbra, and you're just gonna have to find out that head in a different way. Listen, it's not that hard. Figure it out. But as you can see right... Ooh. Dude. Okay, so initially, I want to say no, just because of the fact that the metallics, his metallics are silky metallics. And of course, the metallic does not necessarily match up with that. But I don't know if I hate that head on that body. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind that head on that body. I thought I would. Even the Arcane Avalon helmet is not bad either. Like, that's kind of okay as well. The Pendragon looks okay as well too. Wait! Is this like a successful, like, transition? I was waiting for this to be really, really bad and really embarrassing. Here's the Excalibur Amethyst head. That's actually not bad either. What's going on here? You know what it is? It's because a lot of these helmets do not have metallics attached to them. Like, the one thing I did not like on the Excalibur Prime helmet was the metallic that kind of contrasted with it. So those ones all being fairly neutral, I'm kind of down. Let's see how the Kaduto helmet works. Not bad either, and it kind of fits too. It's also got a ponytail. What is it with Excalibur and having ponytails? Wow, wow, wee, wow, wow. Okay, that's a winner in my book. This one's got to be weird. This is the Copra helmet. It's still kind of okay. Oh my god, if you want to make him into like almost like a robotic hunter, wow. Okay, I'm feeling shock and awed. The Dexcalibur, this one I'm not loving so much. The Dexcalibur, but you know what? It's not an overwhelming amount of metallic, so it could work. You could definitely make this work if you wanted to. I don't hate it. I don't love it as much as some of the other ones, but I don't hate it. This is the Exaltation helmet. I was actually... that one looks kind of good too. Like, I feel like some of the textures are a bit similar to what we've got going on. And the spike on the helmet kind of matches the spike on the shoulders. This is like a win. Okay, I am kind of liking that too. We have the Grax. I don't know if I like this one as much, and that's mainly because of the fact that the Grax has a pattern to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's got this pattern and there's no pattern that resembles that on the rest of the body. But we do have the Grax 2. The Grax 2 looks a little bit better because those ones actually look like maybe like, you know how like hunters will smear their face with certain things? That kind of looks like it could be like marks of a hunter on his face. So that one's not as bad. Here's a standard Excalibur. Don't hate it either, which I'm shocked. We have the, wow, Excalibur got a lot of shit. The Asurius helmet, I don't like that one as much. I don't like how that one jives. It's like, it's a little too constructed. It doesn't feel as organic, you know what I mean? I feel like that could be like the back of a railjack or something, you know? We have the Mordred. I feel like that works as well. Okay. We have the Ogrant. Oh my god, that actually fits really... I thought it was gonna look really stupid. But you know what? It kind of feels very ogre-esque. It feels very ogre-esque. Like he's got like almost, what's the word I want to say? Kind of like he's a prehistoric man. He's like really grisly in there. I kind of like that one a lot. The Prisma helmet of the Avalon. We have the different Prismas. Those ones we've already seen before, but it's just a Prisma version of them. The Prominence helmet. Why do I have 3 Prominence helmets? They're fine. It looks fine. I don't love it though, because it's a little too liney, but not as textury. Here's the Proto Armor. Proto Armor's not bad either. I actually kind of like how that integrates some of that, not necessarily the metallic color, but the metallic color in there. Gives it a little bit more of a splash. We have the Ronin helmet. I don't like this one as much. It's not bad, but I prefer the other ones more. You know what I mean? Like when you get like a slew of goodness, it's hard to sit there and be like, oh, that's fine. You know, that's all that is. That's just fine. So a lot of wins there. I was kind of shocked, but come on. This helmet on the standard Excalibur body, that's not going to look great. So let's go ahead and try to give this one a shot. All right. So Excalibur Prime Ski. It just looked like a lampshade. It just looks like a really big old lampshade with some fancy dangles and this little lamp stick body. This is not going to look good. I'm already yelling and screaming a big no in my body. So as we get into Tenogen, some of the Tenogen, actually that doesn't necessarily look bad. This is the Kaduto skin. I don't hate that. I kind of feel like some of the shoulder texture kind of works with it. I mean, it's not, the rest of it is definitely not grungy, but it has like this kind of like techno-organic feel to the chest piece, which does tie in a little bit. The Copra skin, that's a no. But the metallics do kind of work well with that, but in general, no. Also, this animation looks very strange without like him tucking his hand into anything. The Dex does not look bad. I feel like there's just enough metallics to kind of carry it through. And this lining, the way that it kind of leads into the headpiece, I don't hate it. The Exaltation skin, it's not great. The Grax skin, that's a no to me. That's a no. Thank you, but no. The Immortal skin, I hate all Immortal skins. Let's move on. The Prisma skin, you know what? It could work. It could kind of sort of work, but it's not my favorite, and I don't feel like I want to try to make it work. The Prominent skin, this is again not gonna work, at least not in my eyes. It's just way too graphic. The Proto skin, you know, I'm gonna say no just because the metallics they're not quite there. Like this is just not as shiny. So I'm not necessarily, it could be okay. It's okay. It's like, this is like the Applebee's of his different skins. The Ronin, I'm going to say no to as well. It just doesn't feel, it doesn't have the same vibe. The basic Excalibur skin, it's... Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know who the hell dips their chicken nuggets in buffalo sauce, but that's what it feels like to me. Like, who would want to, like, I get doing buffalo chicken wings, doing buffalo chicken strips, but chicken nuggets in buffalo chicken sauce? I'm gonna say no. It just does not feel right. So we're gonna go ahead and stick with the original, the Excalibur Zato skin. That is probably my favorite preference of them all. And look, his hand looks right now because it looks like he's kind of like getting it tucked into his little belt area. So let me know how you guys feel about the Excalibur Zato skin. I'm sure that this video has gone on way too long because I didn't realize how many heads and bodies we would have to swatch. Also, tell me which one was your favorite look. Maybe the Monster Hunter-esque one? I guess all of them are kind of Monster Hunter-esque. Leave all of your feelings down in the comments below. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your snuggie covered knee, because that's what it is. I had to change up the way that I was. Oh, and I was trying not to show you that I had Velcro in my hair because my hair's been falling in my face lately. It's kind of bugging me. Regardless, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Yup. There he is. I created that in all his fleshy glory.